Hello children, today we will start chapter 12 organic chemistry. Let's talk about the word organic. Organic means all the things which are made up of living things. They are organic chemistry. It was a strong belief during the earlier days, and at that time it was believed that the things which are made up from the living things, they are organic substances, and those who are made up from the non-living, that are inorganic substances. At that time, mostly sugar, starch, protein, acetic acid, all these things were made up from the plants and living things. So that's why they were known as organic substances. And in inorganic substances, we can include common salt, blue vitriol. All minerals, they were produced from the non-living things. That's why they were known as inorganic substances. And these organic compounds were obtained straight from the nature. That's why they were known as method of preparing them in the laboratory. It was believed that they are products of some vital force of nature because they were directly produced from the nature. And in 1828, German chemist named Friedrich Wohler showed that it was possible to obtain organic compound, for example urea, from the laboratory process. And ammonium cyanide, on heating, it was giving us urea, while ammonium cyanide is inorganic compound and urea is organic compound. So in 1845, Kolb prepared acetic acid from its constituents elements like carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and these all were inorganic compounds, while acetic acid is organic compound. There are so many examples. So in this manner, old concept of organic chemistry was given up, and it was accepted that organic chemistry is essentially the chemistry of carbon compounds. For example, methane, ethane, all these are carbon compounds and they are included in the organic chemistry. So first of all, let's start from here. 12.2, what are organic compounds? So organic compounds are compounds of carbon. Organic chemistry is the study of carbon compounds, excluding oxides of carbon, metallic carbonates and related compounds like metal cyanides, metal carbides. So there are some sources of organic compounds. First of all, plants. Compounds like sugar, starch and cellulose, as well as several drugs, they are obtained from the plants. Then second is animals. Urea, protein, fats, these are obtained from the animals. And third one is coal. Destructive distillation of coal produces benzene, toluene, naphthalene, dyes, drugs and perfumes, etc. In our next topics, we will explain about benzene, toluene and naphthalene. Then fourth one is petroleum. Large number of organic compounds like gasoline, fuel gases, petrol, naphtha, these are obtained from petroleum. Then fifth one is fermentation. Compounds like ethyl alcohol, acetic acid, they are obtained by fermentation. Then sixth one is wood. Methyl alcohol, acetone, these are obtained from destructive distillation of wood. And last one is synthetic methods. Most organic compounds are now synthesized in the laboratory. Whatever clothes you are wearing, food we eat, whatever stuff we use in our daily life, all these are obtained from the organic chemistry. Next is comparison is given between organic compound and inorganic compound. So as we have read about that presence of carbon and hydrogen. So first point is presence of carbon. Carbon is necessary to be present in the organic compound, while in inorganic compounds carbon is not essential element. Then solubility of water, they do not dissolve in water, but in inorganic compounds they will be oftenly dissolved in water. And solubility in organic solvents, They can dissolve in organic solvents like alcohol, benzene and chloroform. While all inorganic compounds, they do not dissolve in organic solvents. Then fourth is melting and boiling point. They can be easily, their melting and boiling point is very low as they can decompose on heating. And in inorganic compound, they have high melting and boiling point and they will not decompose on heating. Then fifth point, incombustibility. Organic are inflammable while inorganic they do not burn easily. And bonding, they have covalent bonds, I will explain later, and their bonding is ionic, means they carry positive or negative charges. Then conductivity, as they are covalent bonding, they having the covalent bonding, so they are non-electrolytes, while inorganic having ionic bonds, so easily these ions can be broken down on electrolysis. Then eighth one is isomerism. They show the phenomena of isomerism. There is no such phenomena shown by inorganic compounds. Then color and smell, they have characteristics odor and characteristic color, but most of the inorganic, they are colorless and odorless. The last one is reaction. Molecular reactions are slow due to the presence of linkages, because they having their own linkage, and these reactions never proceed to completion. And ionic reactions, they are very fast, and covalent reactions are very slow. Then what are the applications of organic chemistry? It's very useful in our daily life. From morning till at night, you use the most of the products, they are formed by the organic chemistry, especially all the soaps, perfumes, powders, whatever you apply on your body, whatever cloth stuff you are wearing, even though their dyes, their colors, all depend on the organic chemistry. Then let's talk about the unique nature of carbon atoms. So we have learned that carbon is essential element in organic chemistry. So why carbon is unique? First of all, carbon has tetravalency. As you know, its symbol is C and its atomic number is 6. So electronic configuration will be 2 and 4. So it is having 4 valence shell in its 4 valence electron in its last shell or valence shell. So you will represent carbon having 4 valence electrons. So it's quite difficult for carbon to lose or gain 4 more electrons to complete its octet. As we know, this is first K shell, then L shell. In L shell, it should require here 4 more electrons to complete its octet. Means it has to acquire here or make here total of the 8 electrons. So carbon oftenly share these 4 electrons with others. So mostly it form covalent bonds. In 9th standard, we have done that carbon can form single covalent bond, double covalent bond and triple covalent bond by sharing its 4 valence electrons. So it is having tetravalency. It's clear from its name. Tetra means 4. Having 4 valence electron in valence shell or L shell. So its valency is tetra or 4. Next, second unique property is catenation. Means self-linking. Carbon can combine with other carbons in a long chain. This is long chain or straight chain, and also it can form branches. This is form of a branch, and it can also form cyclic groups or cyclic chains. How they can make the cyclic chains? 3 or more than 3 carbon, they can form a cyclic chain. As 3 carbon are there, if 4 carbons or 5 carbons, then there are 6 carbons, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this cyclic chain or ring, this is known as benzene. You will see this like structure of benzene. Let's take first example, methane. Carbon can form single covalent bond, double covalent bond and triple covalent bond. We are going to explain here examples. So first of all, methane is there. In methane, molecular formula CH4 is there. So you will write C at the center. 4 hydrogens will be there. So valency of carbon is 4, means 4 valence electron. So here we have 4 hydrogens. Each hydrogen will share its 1 electron with carbon. Okay, so here this is single covalent bond. This electron will be shared with this hydrogen. Here is also single covalent bond. This is also single covalent bond, and this one will also single covalent bond. Now sharing 1 electron with carbon atoms, duplet of hydrogen is completed, because hydrogen have only K shell. In K shell there are only 2 electrons. So duplet of this hydrogen is completed. Here also duplet is completed, 1 and 2 electrons are there. Here also duplet is completed, and here also. And let's talk about the electrons or valence shell of carbon now. As carbon has shared 1 electron with all these 4 hydrogen atoms, so carbon is having now 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, total 8 electrons, means carbon's octet is completed. So this was single covalent bond. Let's talk about double covalent bond. So we have example of ethene, C2H4, molecular formula C2H4. Carbon will be central atom, so you will write both carbons in the center. Then 4 hydrogen, first hydrogen, second, third, fourth. Now write down their valence electron. Hydrogen having only 1 electron, and this carbon first atom, it is having 4 valence electrons. This carbon also having 4 electrons. Now beta 1 electron will share with hydrogen. This electron also share with hydrogen. Here also single covalent bond will be formed. Now what about these electrons? Now carbon is having 1 2 3 4 5 6 electrons, while it should acquire here 8 electron. So carbon will share this electron with this carbon, and this electron with this electron of second carbon. Now carbon is having double covalent bond. Carbon having 8 electrons, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This carbon is also having 8 electrons, 2 4 6 8. So octet of both carbons is completed, and hydrogen's duplet is completed. So carbon can form double covalent bond with other atom of carbon. Let's talk about triple covalent bond. Example is of ethine. Its molecular formula is C2H2. So 2 carbons are there. We will write here 2 carbons. Only 2 hydrogen, 1 hydrogen on this side, 1 on this side. Carbon having 4 valence electrons, hydrogen having only 1 valence electron. So hydrogen will share 1 electron with this carbon, this hydrogen will share 1 electron with this carbon. Now what about these 3 electrons? Both carbons will share their electrons mutually. Now here first carbon having 8 electrons, 2 4 6 8. This carbon is also having 8 electrons, 2 4 6 8. Now octet of carbons and duplet of hydrogen is completed. So carbon can form triple covalent bond with other atom of carbon. So this is the unique nature of carbon. It is having valency, tetravalency, and it can also show catenation by self-linking or linking with other atoms. Similarly, carbon can form double bond with oxygen, triple bond with nitrogen. And this unique nature of carbon atom means catenation or tetravalency give rise to the formation of large number of compounds. More than 5 million organic compounds are known today, and thousands of new compounds are added every year to the existing a lot. Now we can define organic chemistry. It is defined as the chemistry of hydrocarbons, means bonds of hydrogen and carbons and their derivatives. So some features of covalent bonding involving carbon are given. All these 3 points we have done. Carbon can join with each other to form long chains, and atoms of other elements can then attach to the chains. Second one is carbon atom in a chain can be linked by single, double or triple covalent bond. This also we have done. Then last point is carbon atoms can also arrange themselves in rings. These structures we have done. Cyclic or closed chains.